are not the mistake, but the mistake is a part of your story. So it doesn't have to stay a part of you. Detach yourself from the mistake, fix it, and then move on and continue your journey in wifehood. Hey, sweet teas. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Tea and Talk. I'm your host, Tafia. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for sipping with me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Please do below. Hit the notification bell so you never miss anything Tea and Talk. And if you are excited about today's episode, please hit that like button. Today, I wanted to talk about some of the characteristics that you would overlook when it comes to your transformation in wifehood. Hopefully, we all come into this transformation already having some characteristics such as being committed, being loyal, being loving, being kind, being peace, being supportive of our husbands. But there are some characteristics and traits that we overlook or may not even recognize the magnitude of how it can get us as wives the best investment on our return in wifehood and in our marriages. I call it softies, SOFTES. I moved in with my husband straight from my mother's. I was a young adult living with my mom. She did her thing, I did my thing. She was pretty much at work a lot of the time, or we had flip-flop schedules where I was at work when she was at home and I was at home and she was at work. And usually we were pretty much doing our own thing. So I was used to having my own space, living my best life by myself, doing what I liked, just being in my zone. And so when I moved into a home with my husband, you would think it would be a little bit difficult, but it wasn't for me. I wanted to be a great girlfriend. I wanted to be that person that listened when he needed, that supported his dreams and ambitions, that stood behind him in all that he did. And I realized that that was me being selfless. I put a lot of importance on the things that he wanted to do, the places he wanted to go, his goals, that sort of thing. Now, I didn't put my goals or ambitions or principles behind. I didn't ignore them. I just was open to listening and learning more about my now husband. One of the tips I would say in wifehood is to be selfless. No, don't forget who you are. No, don't throw your goals and ambitions away. But also put the importance of others in the forefront as well. Don't just worry about self. When you do that, you really show that you're really committed to the marriage. You really show that you're really committed to your role as a wife. You show him that you aren't a selfish woman. You show him that you really care about what he's saying and you really want to be behind him in wifehood, in marriage. The first S is selfless, to become selfless. O is be open-minded. Kind of piggybacking off of the first tip of selflessness. Being open-minded means your way may not work, his way may not work, but if you guys come together and open up your minds to problem solve and come up with more solutions and brainstorm, then you'll be able to solve whatever problem hits you in your marriage. Being open-minded means trying new experiences together, going on vacations besides being on a beach, just to experience things together, going and looking at cathedrals and art in different countries and appreciating it together, going and trying new food together that you've never tried, being open, not closing in on what you're so used to, opening your mind but also opening your heart and doing it together with your husband. O is open-minded. Things aren't going to get done your way, right? There are going to be times when you really are pissed with your husband. There are going to be times when you really let yourself down and you're pissed with something you did or didn't do in wifehood, or in your marriage that you should have. There are times when things won't be aligned. And in order for you to continue to grow in your journey in wifehood, you have to be able to forgive, that being yourself as well as your husband. Without being able to forgive, you're stuck in this restrictive emotion of resentment and anger, and you're not growing. It's not an emotion that's going to be beneficial to your growth. It's not an emotion that's going to be beneficial to your marriage. You have to be able to forgive. Even if he doesn't apologize, still forgive him. You know in your heart of hearts that whatever it is that he did or whatever it is that he said, he did not intend for it to hurt you. He did not intend for it to cause you pain. And so when you get to that realization of understanding, like, yeah, okay, he may have been upset in the moment and he may have said some things, but I understand that he was upset in the moment. His feelings are valid, and that it is okay for me to forgive him because I know that he wouldn't intentionally hurt me. And yourself, like, you're gonna make mistakes. You're not perfect. Those mistakes are what's going to keep you going, what's going to keep you motivated, because you see that you're making a mistake and you change it. You are not the mistake, but the mistake is a part of your story. So it doesn't have to stay a part of you. Detach yourself from the mistake, fix it, and then move on and continue your journey in wifehood. Or else you'll be stuck, stagnant, and stale. And who wants that, right? So forgive. In order for you to have a happy marriage, in order for you to have a strong marriage, in order for you to feel heard and listened to, you also have to be willing to be transparent. That's the T, transparent. So you have to be willing to, at times, be vulnerable. Let your husband know how you're feeling. Let your husband know that isn't working. That isn't working for you, or this isn't working for where we are in our marriage, or whatever the case. You have to be willing to speak up, use your voice, and you have to be okay with being transparent and seen. It becomes an issue when we become so stuck behind this mask, and we are afraid to show ourselves without the makeup on, instead of allowing our husbands to see us in all of our flaws as well. Take the makeup off and let him see, this is a trigger for me. This is a hurt spot for me. This is where I'm weak, and this is where I can use your help. This is where I'm strong, but want to be stronger. I can use your help. This is what I want to do to improve this skill or this trait within me. Be transparent. You guys said your vows together because you meshed well. Hopefully, your husband is not going to use that against you or throw that back at you in some later argument. But you have to open up and be transparent in order to be seen, in order to be heard, in order to grow. So T is transparent. E, empathy. There are things that you may not understand because men are men and women are women, right? So there may be things that you may not understand about your husband, but the point is that you have to support it either way, whether you understand it or not, because that's what you signed up for you to just be there and support him. Being empathetic to him, be empathetic. And then S. I know I started this off with selflessness. I'm going to end it with selfishness. And that is because you can't pour into anybody else if your tank is on E. You can't give your husband what he needs if you're running on low. You can't give your marriage what it needs if you're on empty. You have to be willing to recognize the signs that, hey, okay, listen, I'm running on fumes right now. I'm burning the candle at both ends, and I'm going to take, a few hours here or this Friday here to go and unplug, recharge, and reset. I need to be able to pour into me so that I can pour into you and I can pour into the marriage. So being selfish isn't bad. It's actually a good thing. And being able to recognize when you need to be selfish is even more important. Become more self aware of what you're feeling and how you're feeling. And if you're doing things and you're feeling drained, or are you feeling overwhelmed, or you're doing things for your husband and you're feeling resentment, it may be time for you to take a step back and take some time so that you can pour back into yourselves to then use that overflow to pour into your marriage and your husband. All right, guys. All the takes I just took. All right. That's all I got for you today, sweeties. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Like, comment below. What are some things that you feel are necessary in marriage as far as characteristics and traits that maybe other people overlook, but you feel it's important? Comment below. And until next time, love and light.